Hello and welcome back to our sustainable journey. I am Steve. Today, because it is so darn cold, we're going to work on some stuff with the bees and the frames and things like that. Now that it's winter, we're not really doing anything with the bees. Unless we get a warm day, we'll check on them, make sure they're doing okay. But otherwise, we pretty much leave them alone until spring. But there's a lot to do still for the bees. And that is what we're going to do today. So one of the things we do is we like to keep track of how old all of our frames are. And, these ones haven't been used yet, but I still want to label them as 2022 because that's when they were acquired. We're going to use them in the beginning of 2023. We've got some here in this nuke that were used that we're going to label as 2022. And then we have all the ones up there that are going to be used. We'll label those as 2022. And then in this freezer here, we have some that were, I think we had wax moths from one of the hives that we had acquired over the summer. She had a couple that had wax moths that had attacked them, and so we kind of kept those as separate, put them in the freezer to kill off the moths. And what we'll do is we'll scrape the wax off so we can render it down and use it for candles or waxing other boxes and things like that, or waxing the foundations inside the frames. And then the other thing we do is we check them, see how they're doing, see if they need another coat of paint, make sure that they're all in good shape and stable, so that when we use them next year, they're ready to go. So we've got a few months to do that. So we'll paint them in the house. Obviously, I'm not going to paint them out here because it's freezing, but we can do all the scraping and all the identifying these as 2022 frames out here in the workshop. So that's what we'll do. So I have a wood burner and I set it up with the number 2, which is nice. In 2023, it's going to be a pain because you can only do one number at a time. So we're going to have to go do all the 2s and then wait till it cools down, do all the 3s. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to check this nuke, because you can see we have some burr comb up here that we can scrape off. I'm going to scrape it over there. And that's why I have this. This is a washing machine tub, I think is what we have this for. And because when you're scraping this stuff, it's going to fly everywhere. So that's why I have this thing set up. So you just scrape it all into here, and then from here I can pour it over into a bucket and then render it down from there. So we'll start with scraping. So I just use a paint scraper because it does the job. You don't need to use your hive tool for this. Or you can. It's nice in the winter because this stuff chips off usually pretty easily. So let me set up the camera so you can see this a little bit better. There. Alright. So there we go. So that's from one nuke box. This is what's left of it. We'll leave that. The bees will clean anything else up that's in there. And we can use that for a nuke next year. So I will put this over here. Oh, I have another nuke box. I didn't even realize that. Because I had already cleaned out that one. That one's already clean. I got this one. And I got this one. I think this one is empty though. We'll see. There shouldn't be anything in that. But, well, those have all been scraped already. So now we just need to number them. So let's see if the gun is hot enough. All right, let's see if I can do this while holding the camera. There we go. 22. So you're asking yourself, why burn them, right? So we've marked them, we've tried marking them in, I don't know if I have any, in marker in the past. And because of the way the bees mark up the wood with propolis and with wax, it's really hard to use a marker or a Sharpie or anything like that to mark them. Some people use a thumbtack, but it's 2022 and finding thumbtacks and that many of them is kind of tough, and I'm not a big fan of Amazon. So what else have people done? You know, you can label them with, you know, you can cut it with a knife or carve something into it or whatever. We chose to do wood burning because it makes the most sense to me, because we use all wooden stuff, so it's easy. And the reason you want to do it is because you want to rotate out your frames every 5 years. So after 5 years, you're going to want to get rid of these. Some people will say, oh, you can keep them forever. They'll last. As long as they're built well, they'll last. And that's totally true. And we may end up doing that. But every 5 years, the reason you want to switch them out is because of diseases and things like that. And there's a lot of foot traffic. You know, you figure there's, what, 40, 50,000 bees easily in a small colony walking over this stuff, carrying stuff around. It's really easy for them to spread stuff. And so year over year, if you're rotating them between hives and things like that, you want to make sure that you're keeping them clean by giving them fresh frames every 5 years, 10 years, something like that, to make sure that they don't have to worry about any kinds of diseases. That's what I've heard. I don't know, maybe you have a different method or a different thought process there, but it made sense to me to rotate them out every 5 years. So that's the process we're going to take with our hives. That is what it looks like when it's all said and done. And now I need to do this 100 more times. Looking good. Now I've got a whole pallet to go. Okay, so I still have 2 partials here, but we ended up doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 supers and 2, 4, 6 deeps plus these 2 partials. All right, so that'll do it. 6 deeps. And what did I say? 2, 4, 6, 18, 19, something like that, right? 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 and a half supers We still need to get what's in the freezer. Those ones are really bad. That's all wax mouthed up. Yeah, you can see those look pretty bad, but there aren't too many of them. This is a small freezer. There's maybe another half dozen. Oh, there's 2 layers. Okay, maybe 2 dozen. So we'll scrape those, but my bucket's full and I want to get this rendered down so that we can start using it for other stuff. So that'll be it for today. We hope you enjoyed what we go through. At the end of every season, we kind of clean them up. Mostly scraping the burr comb and sometimes scraping other miscellaneous stuff around the hives and the nukes and everything else. So we can use that and add it to the wax cappings that we scrape off during the honey harvest that we did a few months ago. So 8 gallons of stuff. We'll see what it actually ends up being. It's probably gonna be a lot less than that. So we will see you all next time. Take care and have a wonderful new year.